Okay, let's start. Today our topic is power-ups and testing. I will share my experience about testing power-ups. And let me introduce myself. My name is Arina Davydova. I'm a software testing engineer. I have 1 year experience testing power-ups. I was a single tester in the project, and our power-up was based on power-ups. In this project, I had experience testing API, load, localization, and general fact about me that I like to buy books, paper books, and I have a lot of paper books at home. It's general fact about me. And now I have one question for you. Have you had experience work with Power Apps? Please go ahead, send link in the chat community.com and please enter this code, and there we will have voting. Okay.
Yeah, I already sent to the chat, please.
Present.
Yes.
Yes, we have this question. Have you had experience working or testing Power Apps? And 3 answers. Yes, I had. No, but I plan to work. And no, but this topic is interesting for me. Okay. We see that a lot of people are interested in this topic.
14 people.
Yes, 14 is interesting. 16, 17, 18. Yes, it goes. At least 2 people had experience and 3 will in the future. Okay, I see that a lot of interest in this topic. Okay, let's continue, I think. Presentation. Okay, and when we will start our TikTok, general rules, please mute yourself. And then after we will have a session and you can ask in the chat your questions and share your experience. If you had, we saw that 3 people had experience with Power Apps, you can share in the chat. And I will share my experience, but it will not be a demo because in my project we have some security information, and for this I prepared some screenshot hiding some security information. Okay, let's start. Firstly, what is it Power Apps? Here in screenshot you see that we have Microsoft Power Platform, and here is written that it's a low-code platform. What's mean low-code? Means that we have some template things that it's for example view records. I will show you what is it, and it's prepared things. It's like with design, everything prepared, and if you want to create your app, you will add some this rows that was prepared earlier with Microsoft, and for this it's saying that slow code. Most of things is prepared, but if you want to customize your app, you will need to write code, the front end and backend part. Mostly backend part is written in C#, and C# developers works, and front end part is JavaScript, HTML, CSS. But we have for low code these platforms, Power BI, maybe you know about it and work with it, our Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent. Power Automate, I will tell about too, because we have some integration in Power Apps with Power Automate. And let's start with description. What Power Apps is? It's application that has the data. We have some data, and Power Apps is connecting data, code, and other applications. And we will see here in the screen that we have our data, common data service. In this common data, we can say here we have data and some code, some customized code. Can you hear me? Sorry, problem with network.
Yeah, I am able to hear right now.
Okay, sorry, it's always in demo or TechTalk. Okay, let's continue. And we have some one app here. Our app is here. It's like connections with other apps and our app. And let's talk first about my experience. What we had. We had in Excel, the second screen, we had information in Excel, a lot of Excel files where our users edited information. They had some data, and all of this data was updated. One person take this file, update, send to another with a mail, then another update. And you understand that in data was mess because someone is misspelled, someone don't enter right data, and they decided do this app in the request this do our team request this app do this app in the PowerApps. PowerApps, why it's better? Because it's security of data. If you open one record, all your updates will be in this record. You're open and you if you update something, you can see all your actions in audit history. Everything, who did something, you can write your comments. Everything is secured here. We have secure teams. I will show you. All processes will be in one place. You don't need to send it by email to another person. All approve, update, delete in one place. And how I said, it can be added code, custom options, what your user wants. It can be added with HTML, CSS, some design things. For example, this table is design thing, HTML thing that we did. That's a good thing of PowerApps. And let's talk about PowerApps opportunities. It's our app, and here we have opportunities. It will be for all apps. It's opportunity for PowerApps box. We have first, it's personalization settings, advanced phase settings, and advanced find. Let's go to personalization settings. If you open personalization settings, first you will see general. In general, here you can update how many records you want to see in one page. For example, you want to see 50, 70. For what the first, your user will see so many records in this page. Second, it's not good thing in PowerApps, but if you will do some group by or order by, it will only in this 50, 70 records in one page, not for all data that you have. And for this, you can choose your settings, how many records you want to see on one page. Another one, it's our time zone. It's very important too, because we had one issue when we didn't add this time zone, and our notification, when they came, it came in not a right time. And for this, you should clarify about time zone. And what time zone is your app. Okay, and another, it's advanced find. We will talk about it. You can see it simple and detailed. The next one is language. In our app, we have localization. It's localization for Russian language. We had English and Russian in our app. And for translation, it's very easy because in Microsoft, you have prepared files where you can add your translation. Only you should check in Microsoft official site what languages is added for PowerApps, so for what language you can translate. And you will export file. You will see all English names and translate to your language. If it's supported by Microsoft, it will be easy. You only translate and then see it in UI when you will import. But two things, main things. First, when you will translate, please clarify with your developer, is he or she finished work with adding new names and buttons? Because if you will start translate and then new buttons will be added, it will be error. And you should read it with lookup, find in our translation, translate it again. The second thing, It's not like tester work, but in my project I did translation for this app because it's Russian, it's my language, but it was very difficult because ending of words in one place I tested this, in other this, and it was very difficult. For this, I want to say that hire in your project, please tell to hire professional translator. Another opportunity of it's our advanced settings. In advanced settings, I use this too. It's customizations and security. Also, we have a lot of, and for example, plugin trace log. It's very useful thing to see action. What was with your action? Is it failed or it's run successfully? Because I told you that we have with some Azure functions without integration with another systems, and in plugin trace log, you can see if everything goes good to your integration. For customizations, okay, let's go to this slide. In customization, we can add some apps to test. For example, our developers added this CRM REST builder for API testing. You can add another because I heard that now CRM REST builder not available, but we used it. It can be added another apps here to work with, to test. It's like customization, settings customization page. Another one, it's security. In PowerApps, we have a lot of roles. For example, system administrator role, basic user, it's like PowerApps role, but we can add our roles. In my app, we added some our roles to do approve process, and we had some roles. For this, if you want to assign roles to some teams, for example, you have users, and you assign to this team this role and add this user to this team. For example, they will be administrator or system user, or you can do it in these teams. You can assign 4 users here for 1 user, 4 teams this role, but for testing, for example, I tested in different roles, and it was difficult firstly because for one person I can assign 1 role. For myself, for example, for Arina, I can assign only system administrator. Then if I will assign another role, then I can't choose it because assign role can only system administrator. And for this, we decided to do tech user. In PowerApps, we can add tech user, 1 tech user, assign to it admin role, and then you will add credential to your browser, open this window with this tech user, and assign to yourself roles. For example, I can assign to with this tech user for me roles and test in this roles. It's a very useful thing. It's very good that we have these tech users in PowerApps. Another opportunity that I mentioned, it's advanced settings. It's can you see here like database? You can edit columns, you can do a group and group or see details. It's something like database, but with UI. It's good UI, user friendly, and really I use this one. I did group or group and for example, I choose this one, accept all processes, and I do some select some another, for example, instruments or parameters, another parameters, and do this selecting group and request group or. But can you see here we have XML format, and if you want to test in XML format, you can. In customization page, how I showed you, there you saw CRM builder, you can upload this one, fetch XML, and test XML in XML in this app if you want. If you will have a lot of requests, some you can do it in XML format. Download here and work with it. It's very useful thing. This find, because you can find here all what was notifications. If your router, for example, we have notifications, and if your router not working in this environment, you can here do some requests and see is it working. Is it or it's problem with router or it's problem with your app? You can check it here. In our PowerApps, you can have environments like in all apps, test environment, dev environment, stage environment, and for example, we have system administrator that decide in what environment will be this router. That what is router? It's generate email to your Outlook, for example. And if you haven't this opportunity, this environment, you can do this search. I said a lot of words like views and records, but if you don't use PowerApps at all, I will show what is it. We have here some records. It is view. This is view. View, it means that you can, for example, choose draft or approved records. And here you will see all these records. How I said, you can manage 50 or 70 records you want to see in one page, and it will be record. All this one row in Excel, for example, in PowerApps, it's record. These ones, you can see it's units. We have instruments, it's our names. You can have another, for example, users, and it will be your units. Another, it's record inside it. You will open this record and you see, how I said, design is prepared with PowerApps. You can't choose this row, do it like black or yellow. It will be like this. But you can add some toggles here, or you can delete these toggles. You can put another rows here, or you can put, design these rows how you want, but you will have this format. And here you can see that we have these buttons. These buttons is by default. And please clarify with your BA, do you need these buttons by default? Or for example, in this slide, we saw that we have a lot of these buttons, and sometimes it can confuse our users. Please clarify with business list what we need in this record, what buttons. Maybe your custom button will be added. The next the next thing by default is this timeline. It comments. You can add here notes, comments. For example, I can write here that something was wrong, the name is wrong, and the another user when will open this, he or she will see it and then edit. It's like some messages can be here, and it will be. I told earlier that it is very secure, and everything will be in one place. And let's talk now about testing PowerApps. What we use for testing. We have this very good app. It's Pane. You can download it in all browsers. And when you will start testing, please clarify in what browser your users work. For example, our users worked in Edge browser, and I tested there. Your users can work with Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Edge, and you should test in all these browsers. Download this app here, and you will see it. For example, this logo will appear. This logo will appear, and when you click to it, you see this menu. I use this 6 options. First, it's user info. When I click to user info, I can see everything about myself. For example, I can see in general information, what my ID, what role I have, what permissions I have, everything I can see here. It's very useful to know in what role you will test. For example, you came in the morning, check this one, and then start testing. Another one is entity info and record ID. When you open one record, you can click to this one and know about your record. What ID it has, it's very useful when you test API. You will see it when we will talk about API testing. And this is very interesting things because you can check with this backend part. We have separate front-end and backend part. if you see button in the PowerApps in your UI, it's not mean that it will work, because we can add this button, but if it not have backend logic, it will not work. But I think same in the all apps. And for check backend validations, you need this one for update, for example. You enable all fields and try type here, there, and save it. If it will successfully save in your role, it means that your user have permission. Then compare with requirements. Should your user have this permission or no? If no, it's a bug. Another, it's show hidden fields. It's useful when you, for example, we had, I told, have localization, and we saw in UI Russian and English rows, but really in hidden row, it was 2 in 1 row. And for testing, it was useful. I check this plugin works or no, because user can see 2 rows, but in real life it's 1. And when you click to this, you will see. Another one, disable field requirements. It's the testing validation. You can have validation on UI part, and if you disable this and type something, it successfully saves, but it was wrong for validation. It means that in backend you haven't any logic there. Verify with UBA and dev, should you have this logic on backend. Another app I mentioned it earlier, CRM Builder. It's in customization. When you click to customization, you choose this one. It downloaded by your developer. It can be another app, but we use CRM Builder, and I will tell how it works in PowerApps. Another apps have the same logic. So for it, I think it will be useful for you. This one we have for this options: create, update, delete, and action. For this 4, I will talk. We have primary entity. You will choose what you want, account, or for example, we had accept all. And here, and here you will add ID. And for create, we have this primary entity. We choose it, and we choose attributes. For example, I want to add this name Arina. Here I will choose attribute name, type name of it. Then I choose another attributes, but beware that we have in this red and black. For example, name can be red. It means that it's mandatory in the to add name this attribute for this record, because name, for example, ID can be mandatory. It your developer decide and UBA decide. And here, when you will choose, you will see what fields are mandatory, what not. Here you can see another option is update, the same that we did with PowerPane, but here you will type ID and choose what attribute you will change for what. It will be useful work with PowerPane because you only click to one button, choose, and then Control S. It will be useful, but if you want, you can do this with update function. Another one is delete. You have one entity, for example, a record, and you want to delete it. To check if you have permission to delete this record. You add here ID and then run it in console. Oh yes. You create request, click here to create request. It's the same for all 3. Create request, then copy code. I will show it how it looks like, and then push it in console. In dev or open DevTools and run this script. Another one is action. We have, I told that we have some actions, for example, notification action, and here the same, you choose what action you will run and for what user you will run. For what it's useful. For example, we had notification digest, and when I ran it to in make PowerApps, I will show you make PowerApps. When I ran it in make PowerApps, there was notifications for all users, and it was a lot of questions like why this notification came in this time. And for this, for testing, you can use this opportunity action. you add your ID and run only notifications for your user. This digest will came only for you. It's very useful for testing. And here you create request, click to this for all this update, create, delete, action, you create request, then you will see, 1 minute, you will see here this code, and you copy code and put it in console. This console, F12 or DevTools, and run it. If everything will be okay, there will
Если
be.
там не занято. Там занято?
Also, I would like to say, like, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and you run this in console and see if it's successful or no. If it has error, it means that there haven't permissions for it, and then you will see what error it is, and then clarify with your developer why it's happening. Next that I mentioned that we have, it's make PowerApps. Make PowerApps, I think if you worked with Power BI, you saw something like this, because it's parent apps, and we have this menu. In this menu, we can use these apps, and for these apps, you can assign role to yourself, see information about apps, in general about your app. Here you will see all apps that have in your organization, PowerApps apps, and choose your and work with it. Another one, it's flows and solutions. I mentioned that we had digest and we run in flows or solutions. In this solution also we have another, for example, that is we have had integration, and you, if you open solution and choose your app, you will see all actions, all plugins that you have, and all information here you can see in solutions. For example, when we did localization, the same, I opened the solution and import export file here. Okay, and now I want to conclude. Firstly, clarify all requirements with UBA. We have a lot of logic and PowerApps. In our project, we had it, and about everything, about buttons, about time zone, about notification digest, when it should you use it. In PowerApps, we have a lot of opportunities. I hear that we have Skype, and everything should be clarified with BA and your dev team. You should test backend. I told backend part separately and front-end part, because it's different things and it should be tested. And if you read, or if you want to know information on PowerApps in official site, and it's very useful, if you will work with it, Microsoft, you should open it always, because we had a lot of evaluation there. Firstly, when we started to work with our app, we had information that database is closed. We can't see what data we have. We imported and it all. Then we have now read permission. For example, in future, it will be write permission, and everything, all updates you can see in official site. Okay, it's all in my TechTalk. If you want to know more information about testing, please follow us in Telegram and Instagram. I will send you links. And now I want to hear your questions. I hope that it was interesting and useful. I tried to say everything in details, and I hope it was understandable.
Yes. Thanks for presentation. It was really interesting. And we had here in the chat some questions from Tatiana. She's asking, is it possible to see an example of fetching data, if it's in scope or of your presentation?
Searching data, you mean in advanced fund, yes? I have
yes.
a shot here, because my information security set in our app, and I haven't here screenshot. But I can then, after TechTalk, do a screenshot in our app, hide security information, and send it to the chat. I think it will be better.
That will be cool, really, I think. Thank you. Then we have several questions here. So, have you had experience of automatization testing for PowerApps?
I hadn't, unfortunately, I hadn't this experience because we planned it, and I will say that it's very good to automatize. For example, this API request, we have a lot of these requests, and I think we need to optimize it, but our project was finished, and a lot of budget are going to the automation, and for this, we decided to not automate our project. But if you will work with PowerApps and you will have opportunity, please optimize that your app. It will be better to testing.
Okay, thank you. If you have some other questions, you can chat here to Arina.
Yes. You
Yes,
can share
and,
your experience if you worked with PowerApps. You can share your things. It was interesting for you, useful or no, because I'm worrying. I'm trying to say everything. But
don't worry. Most of people say that it is informative, but we have another question. How do you think is PowerApps interface user-friendly for users? How do you think, Arina?
I heard a lot of these questions. But we can do anything with it because it's like how I said, it's designed with Microsoft, but I think it's very user-friendly because it's more user-friendly than Excel. If we'll tell about my experience when we had a lot of mess in data, and I think it's useful. It's more useful and more user-friendly.
Thank you. Then as another question, have you had any experience testing PowerApps integration?
Yes, we had integration, and I thought about it, that we have integration with another, and for this we can use this users, tech users, for testing integration, and we had a lot of experience with integration. We integrate with Azure function, and for Azure functions, I can say that you need have another developer, Azure developer. We had a lot of integration. And it's possible in PowerApps.
Okay, thank you. So there is no questions in the chat. There is one question from Oля. Do you have experience in integration testing of PowerApps and the Kafka topics?
No. Kafka topics? No. We had integration with our other app from our organization, but not.
Not Kafka. Okay.
It's not Kafka.
Okay.
But I heard about it.
Okay, thank you. So Victor says that is a very interested presentation and a lot of thankfuls for you in the chat. You can read it after the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank
and
you.
I will send the screenshot that I said about in the
Yes.
chat. Thank you very much. And okay, 1 minute. I will. I forgot about this one. Sorry. About our future. We will have Kahoot game events. Yes, we will have Kahoot game. 24th, 1 week. Or it will be very interesting game. Participants for all the world. Please, if you want to participate, go ahead. I will send you link.
Already sent. Please
yes, you can register. And another talk that will be in next month. Yes, go ahead. You can.
Yes. Rustam Abdullah, he will talk about medical view for test design techniques, and will be really interesting. Come and join to the fun for more events, and please join to the our social networks, Telegram and the Instagram. Follow us. We always invite to other interesting events, and organizing interesting games, so fans and the useful articles for engineers, for IT. Please join to the social networks, and very thankful for Arina for your presentation, and thank you
very
for
much.
participates for all of you. So have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.